Coming up on Network Africa, Zimbabwe's President Robert Mugabe travels to Singapore for medical checks days after celebrating his 93rd birthday. Former Nigerian President Olusegun Obasanjo says the xenophobic attacks in South Africa is due to the government's insincerity. And the United Nations distributes food in famine-hit parts of South Sudan. Hello and welcome to the program. I'm Temitope Fagbemi. Zimbabwe's President Robert Mugabe has traveled to Singapore for medical checks days after celebrating his 93rd birthday. Reports say the president has become increasingly frail and now struggles to walk during public appearances. His spokesman says the checkup is routine and Mr. Mugabe is expected to be back in Harare early next week. This comes a day after state-employed nurses in Zimbabwe began an indefinite strike over wages. Their main demand is that the government pay out 2016 bonuses. Last week, army doctors were brought in to manage a potential health crisis as a result of an ongoing doctor strike. Zimbabwe's medical professionals are some of the worst paid in the region, and their salaries are often paid late. Meanwhile, Zimbabwe's High Court has banned corporal punishment for children both at school and in the home. The ruling comes after a parent complained that her child in grade 1, that's a class for 6-year-olds, had deep bruises after a beating by a teacher. Lina Fungwa said her daughter had been punished for failing to have a reading book signed by guardians as proof that she had done her homework. The Constitutional Court will have to confirm the judgment. Experts say if it is upheld, it will transform the way parents have disciplined their children for centuries in the southern African country. Some parents are criticizing the ruling, while rights groups say it is long overdue. The current xenophobic attacks on Nigerians living in South Africa is a result of the insincerity of the government of that country. All this is according to Nigeria's former president, Olusegun Obasanjo, who made his position known in Abeokuta, the Ogun State capital, while receiving the leadership of the Nigeria Institute of Policy and Strategic Studies in Jos. The former president says latest development in South Africa betrays the struggle for the emancipation of the country against the apartheid regime. He also called on African heads of government to ensure good governance for overall development of the continent.
Jews may not understand what Africa stands for, what our continental organization stands for. But if you does not understand what happens to the elders, what happened to them, I will blame the youth, but I will blame the leadership more in any country that allow xenophobic reaction against fellow Africans, no matter for whatever reason. But having said that, it is also the responsibility of the rest of us in our different countries in Africa to prepare our country so that those of our youth that think that there's an El Dorado somewhere outside their own country will be made to know that there's no green pasture anywhere. Your green pasture is here in your home. I feel disheartened to know that many of our youth perish crossing the Sahara. And then when they get to the Mediterranean coast, perish crossing the Mediterranean. And I've said that the blood of every Nigerian that dies crossing the Sahara or going across the Mediterranean must be on the hand of the leader.
Now let's get more on the xenophobic attacks from a career diplomat, Ambassador Akin Fayomi. You're welcome to the program, Ambassador.
Thank you very much.
Do you agree with the former president, Olusegun Obasanjo, that the South African government has been insincere in tackling xenophobia?
I agree with the former president of Obasanjo that the South African government needs to take more decisive action regarding these xenophobic attacks. They are very quiet. The South African government, they've not done anything. We have been hearing lots of stories and talk, but no action to call the perpetrators to order. There's absolutely nothing coming from the government of South Africa, unfortunately. I understand former President Mbeki did make a statement apologizing for his compatriots. That's all we've had, and I admire him for that. But the current administration of President Zuma, they've been extremely quiet about this issue, as if it's the norm, and I don't think we should continue to take this line low.
Now, but what does this say about Nigeria-South Africa relations? Does this mean that both countries don't actually enjoy close relations, despite what the government of both countries are saying?
Of course, our relations are sound in that sense. But the point is that what makes a relation, the welfare and of the people is also part and parcel of that relationship. We have diplomatic relations, we have political relations, we have economic relations. Our people that are there, they are not on welfare. They are working. They are hardworking Nigerians there. Yes, we have some bad eggs. That's to be expected. But majority of them are either professionals, lecturers, traders, businessmen, and some of them are even married to South Africans. I really do think, even though it will not affect relations in that aspect, but it is already tarnishing the good rapport that we have with South Africa, and it is not fair at all.
Now, Ambassador, if you said the South African government has been insincere in tackling this crisis, what about the Nigerian government? Would you say the Nigerian government has done enough to protect its citizens living in South Africa, and also to demand justice for those that were unlawfully killed?
Thank you for raising that. I will definitely say that the Nigerian government also has not done what it's supposed to do. Unfortunately, the Nigerian government has this bad record of not attending to the welfare